Well, welcome to Love versus Hate. My name is Anne, and I am, today, your old-fashioned nerd.
And my name is Emily, and I am a cyborg.
Cylon. Shout out to anybody who didn't listen to last week's episode.
Just kidding. I'm Emily, and I'm your mainstream millennial.
And on this podcast, Emily and I like to debate, mostly argue and disagree and yell at each other about things that we love and hate.
Yay!
Yay! So today's episode, we're actually doing something a little bit different. I'm really excited about. We're going to be talking about decades.
Yeah, man. We're going to be talking about our favorite things in the decades that we were alive, but this episode is specifically the 90s and the 2000s.
Early 2000s, yeah.
Hey guys, future Emily coming at ya. So we didn't quite realize how long we could actually talk about the 90s and the 2000s. So we ended up just deciding to split this episode into 2 episodes. So on today's podcast, you're going to be hearing all about the 90s and our favorites from that. And then down the road, we will release the thousands episode from 2000 to 2009. You'll hear that later. We just talked for over an hour. So we don't want to take up too much of your time for the week. So be on the lookout for that later, and I hope you enjoy our favorites from the 90s. Before we get into our favorite things, I wanted to talk about this new show on Netflix that I just started watching.
Yeah.
It's called Rhythm and Flow, and it's kind of like American Idol.
Okay.
But not really. And it's for rappers. Whoa.
Do they actually have like meaningful lyrics that aren't super provocative and just stupid?
Some of them.
Okay, I'm not interested.
So basically, the 3 judges are T.I.
Eminem.
No. Yeah, let's just have you name as many rappers as you can, actually.
Jay-Z.
Good job.
He's a rapper? Yes.
She's at 2.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
No.
Kanye.
Yeah. Let's see if you can get to 5.
Oh, no. I'm only at 3. Lin-Manuel Miranda should count.
No.
Why not?
Because I said one today at work. She, that's a hint, and the other hint was in the Amazon Alexa.
Nicki Minaj.
That wasn't her, but yes, she's a rapper.
Little Mix.
No.
Um,
She's looking at me like, what the? You just need one more name.
That one guy that I don't like that we watched the music video for with all the weird animals. That guy.
What?
Do you remember we watched a music video that had a bunch of celebrities in it, including like Miley Cyrus and...
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, what about...
Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky, is he one?
Yeah.
Okay, boom. There you go.
All right.
I was also going to possibly list Justin Bieber.
No.
What about U2? Is that a thing?
Are you kidding me? No.
Is that a band?
Yes.
Do they rap?
I think they're rock.
Oh.
But anyways.
I got 5 though. That's the point. I did.
Except for I gave you the last one.
Well, yeah.
I gave you the name.
Yeah, I knew it.
Okay. The judges are T.I., Cardi B. That's the one that I was trying to get.
Oh, I would never have gotten that.
All right.
I have no idea what you're saying.
And Chance the Rapper.
Oh, I should have gotten Chance the Rapper. Ooh, I also should have gotten Donald Glover. What's his rapper name?
It's a competition, and those 3 rappers are the judges. And so the first 3 episodes, I think, they go to like different cities around the U.S. to try and find people. And then they mentor the people that they find. So basically, the 3 judges want to find the best people so that they can win. Or their person can win. And so Alex and I had watched, and for anybody who's not, or who is listening and doesn't know who Alex is, that's my boo-boo.
That's her fiance. You have mentioned him a couple times, so.
Yeah. And so it's been kind of interesting because rap isn't usually something that I like listen to by myself. I usually listen to it when other people are around and want to listen to rap. But I do like rap that tells a story and has meaning behind it rather than just like the club music, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting because some of the people have like really good stories and tell stories in their rap that I've seen on the show. So it's fun to just watch with Alex. It's a nice like, I don't really care that I'm watching this. You don't really have to think about it.
I feel.
Not like your sci-fi shows, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, but I love those kind of shows. And a lot of people out there are in agreement with me. You are kind of the more weird one, honestly.
No.
Yes. We should do a poll.
Yeah,
Let's do a Facebook poll.
I was just thinking about that.
Okay, we're gonna
Let's
do
it.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Facebook poll, probably an Instagram poll as well. We're gonna have you guys vote. What's the exact question? Like, what are we asking them?
I think we should do a poll. Would you rather watch sci-fi or anything other than sci-fi?
No. How about sci-fi or reality TV?
No.
Why not?
How about sci-fi or drama?
No, but sci-fi and drama can be very like there's such a clear distinction between sci-fi and reality TV. There's a lot of sci-fis out there that are also dramas.
Oh man, the face that she's giving me, like, are you kidding me?
You can't.
Sci-fi and
What's wrong with reality TV? Or what about game show or something? What's your number one
I don't like
love?
game shows.
Or what do you call competition shows like MasterChef and what you just were talking about that I don't remember the name of, some rapper thing.
That's a competition show.
Okay, so competition show versus sci-fi?
Fine.
You're just worried because you know you're going to lose.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
everyone that I know would rather watch a competition show.
Well, everyone that I know would much rather watch sci-fi.
All right, well, that's enough for this intro.
Yeah, let's move on.
Who came up with that stupid idea?
Yeah, jeez. Just scratch it all. Let's start over.
So yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm super excited about this one.
Yeah, we wrote a list of some of our favorite movies, shows, artists, which are like musicians. Did you do any other artists? She probably did because she doesn't care about music like I care about music. So we'll see what she has. Favorite gadget, which can be a toy or a game or technology. And activity or hobby.
Yeah. So let's start with the 90s. Just so everybody's aware, I was born in 1993.
And I was born in 1994.
So a lot of the things that I have listed are things that I genuinely really love now, but didn't necessarily watch like as a kid. But I think we can kind of cover both topics, like kind of stuff that we watched as kids. But a lot of the stuff I watched as a kid did not come out in the 90s, so.
Yeah, I wrote down, because I was like, okay, I don't remember how old I was during these years. So I wrote down 0 to 5. For some reason, I'm really bad at math. She was like, I'm very concerned for your well-being.
Did you graduate high school? It's basic stuff.
Okay, do you know how old you were between 2000 and 2009?
Yeah, I would have been between 0 and 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In 2000 to 2009?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking 90s still. I'm so on the 90s. Why are we talking about the 2000s? We haven't gotten there yet.
Because I'm trying to trip you up, and it worked. All right. Anyways, back to the 90s when I was between 0 and 5.
Yeah.
And Anne was between 0 and 6 or 7.
Well,
I wasn't really.
I would have turned 1 in 94. So I guess, yeah, it would be 0 to 6.
Okay, cool. Now that we have that figured out, and everyone is on the same page.
Yeah, thank you guys. I know you all figured that out the moment we said our birth years, but give us a second to catch up.
So let's start with our favorite movies that we remember from the 90s or when we were living in the 90s.
We were living in the 90s. This is correct. This is accurate. Well, I will say real fast, movies that I remember watching as a kid, definitely what was it called? It was like the Big Bird movie, I think it was the title. Sesame Street was a big thing in my family. You know what Sesame Street is, right? And like the Muppet Show, like the
What?
Muppets. Wait, do you know what Sesame Street is?
What's Sesame Street?
Are you kidding me?
Does that have to do with cyborgs?
Do you know who Big Bird is?
Elmo's World.
Okay. Oh, thank goodness. I was
Just kidding. I just wanted to freak you out.
You freaked me out. I am officially freaked out. I was about to be like, we need to stop this podcast right now.
Yes, of course I know who Bert, Ernie, Big Bird, Elmo, all
Snuffleupagus.
Grunch.
What? Are you thinking of Oscar the Grinch or Oscar the Grouch? There we go. We got there at the end. That took a little bit of effort.
The Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster.
Gotta
yes.
love him.
Count Dracula or Count. What was his name? Or is it just the Count?
I don't know. But there was one. What was that blue guy?
What was that blue guy?
I don't know, but we always had a book at my grandma's house.
Grover. How can I forget Grover? That's his name. It's funny because if my parents, especially my dad, was listening to this, he'd be making fun of me because apparently he remembers this obviously a lot better than I do. But apparently we watched the Big Bird movie like on repeat, and he knows that movie like by heart. He'd be disappointed in me though. He'd be like, for how many times you've watched that movie, you should know it by heart too. But here, I'm going to now list some movies that I really like now that I didn't necessarily watch as a kid, but that came out in the 90s. I've got a list, so I'm just going to run through it real fast.
Okay.
You might have to hold me to that. You know how I am. October Sky. I have mentioned it on the podcast. It was in the popcorn round. It's a really good one. Mm-hmm. Or that might be in the exclusive content. I don't know if you guys have heard that. It's a good movie. The Shawshank Redemption. Did you ever see that one? Classic. Mm-mm. So good. It's got Morgan Freeman in it. The Lion King. Obvi. The Big Lebowski. Oh, so good. Princess Mononoke. Studio Ghibli. Hayao Miyazaki.
What the freak?
Yeah, I figured you weren't going to know what I was talking about. Princess Mononoke is made by Hayao Miyazaki, who is a Japanese animator. So good. Studio Ghibli is a studio that he works with a lot. They also make other movies, but he wrote and directed it. It's really, really good. That one was 1997. Toy Story. I mean, come on, Pixar.
I've got that one too.
Oh, good. Thank you. Hey, yes. That's something we can agree on. We do agree. We sometimes can. The Matrix. So good. Honestly, one of the things I absolutely love about The Matrix is the impact that it had on cinema history. Like, The Matrix was one of the first movies that really launched, like, I mean, there was always special effects, but, like, it was just so, like, you can watch it today, and the special effects in it are still pretty impressive, and they still hold up today. And that was made in 1999. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing to me.
I've never seen it, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I just rolled my eyes. Okay, that was all that I had listed.
Okay, well, my favorite movies when I was actually 5 and under were Toy Story, Love,
agree. 100%.
Aristocats was probably my favorite.
Oh, that's a good one.
Even though I don't like cats now.
It's okay.
Except for Anne sometimes.
Yeah, my cat's good.
Except for, never mind. Just kidding. Yeah, I probably watched that one the most. Parent Trap.
Which one?
The one with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, that's what I figured, not the original.
The original's fine, but I like the one with the Lindsay Lohan better.
Okay.
And Anastasia.
Ooh, very good one. I like Anastasia a lot.
Sorry, guys. We're still at my house, so Steve is still here.
Yeah, so if you hear him barking, it's just...
Steve is my dog, in case anybody wanted to know. But anyways, let's move on to favorite shows, shall we, in the 90s?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had started to list a couple, but you rudely cut me off. But you did make a good point. It was movies. We weren't quite on TV shows yet, but we are now. So VeggieTales, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yep, I have that one.
Good.
Obviously, yeah.
So good. Sesame Street. The Muppet Show. That was one I watched like as a kid. My parents had it. It's a really good one. I love The Muppet Show. I honestly didn't watch much Disney, mostly because we didn't have cable. And also when I was a kid, as I've mentioned before, my mom was really picky about stuff I would watch.
Did you have PBS?
We did have PBS, and I do remember Recess a little bit. I watched a little bit.
You watched Recess?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm surprised.
I know. didn't last long. When my mom found out, I'm pretty sure she made me stop watching it. I do remember watching it a little bit. Barney, big one.
Oh, obviously.
Huge Barney fan. Huge Winnie the Pooh fan.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
My shows were, have you ever watched Little Bear?
Nope.
I'm pretty sure that was on PBS. It was so cute. It was about a little bear.
Aw.
Obviously. And then Franklin, the turtle.
Nope, but I know Arthur, the Aardvark.
Yes, I also have Arthur on there. We
Okay.
love Arthur. Caillou.
Familiar, but never watched it.
Yep, I liked that one. Rugrats.
No.
You probably weren't allowed to watch that.
Nope, that was one I was not allowed to
Yeah,
watch.
we had almost all of the episodes on VHS taped.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I remember watching The Magic School Bus in school. I never watched it outside of school.
Yeah, I didn't really like that show, except for the one episode where they went down this kid's throat.
Oh.
Zuboomafoo.
Oh, I would watch that with my neighbors who had cable.
Love Zuboomafoo. Roly Poly Oly.
Nope.
I liked that one. And then JJ the Jet Plane.
No idea what you're talking about.
JJ the Jet Plane.
I just remembered a movie, The Jetsons. Did you ever watch
Isn't that a show?
It was a show, but there was also a movie, and I'm pretty sure I only really watched the movie as a kid. Okay, I'm going to real fast TV shows that I like now that came out in the 90s. I have a long list. I'll go through it quickly. I did
Okay.
pretty good with the movies. Seinfeld, good one. The X-Files. Oh, that show. That's a good show. Star Trek, The Next Generation, 1987 to 1994. So I counted it because it ended in the 90s. Golden Girls, love. Star Trek DS9 as well, 1993 to 1999. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I have not finished. I started it and I would like to finish it, but I haven't done that yet. Mystery Science Theater 3000, so good. That technically is still running, but the originals was like in the 90s. These are a couple of animes that came out in the 90s that are really good. Neon Genesis Evangelion, and also Cowboy Bebop, arguably my favorite anime of all time.
Yeah, I didn't do that type of research that Anne did. I just was reminiscing on what I enjoyed when I was 5 and under, which I don't remember a lot. But speaking of not remembering a lot, favorite artist from the 90s?
I have no idea. I only listened to like the Beatles and John Denver, and I don't think any of the music I listened to as a kid like ever came out in the 90s.
Yeah, I just wrote question mark Disney.
I know, like I don't know. It's just there's good music. I just
Yeah, we're 5 or
we
6.
were yeah exactly.
Yeah.
So nothing.
We're gonna move right along to favorite gadget.
Oh my gosh, yes, Beanie Babies.
Oh my gosh, I should have put those, but I didn't.
Right? Oh, I was a huge Beanie Baby person.
Yeah, I still have a whole big tote of Beanie Babies.
We should go through them. Are they here?
They're in the room that you're gonna stay in.
Perfect.
There's a lot.
My favorite, I will always remember, it wasn't like one of the classic ones, but it was a little otter and it had a little piece of seaweed that it was holding. That one was my favorite. It was so cute.
I have a Beanie Baby that I don't know why I like it so much, because I must have liked cats when I was little, because I had my favorite Beanie Baby was a orange striped cat.
Aw.
And I liked the Aristocats, so I don't know what was up with me, but I was messed up.
Well, it was probably before the tragic cat stepping on nail walking through New York incident.
Definitely was.
Yeah. I don't know if this was the exact brand, but I think it was like Talk Bay recording devices. They were like, I saw a picture of it and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally remember that. They were basically like these handheld, they had a little microphone that would stick out from the device. And you would hold it in your hand, kind of like an old video camcorder, but you were just recording your voice.
Oh.
And I loved that thing. I kind of wish I could find it and listen to what is on it, but it's probably long gone.
My favorite gadgets. I didn't really know this one either because I was trying to think of things that I would have played with at those ages. Arthur Goes to the Library, that board game that I was telling you
Oh,
guys
I
about in the
remember,
last
yes.
one. I probably played that. I don't know if 5 is too young to be making friendship bracelets, but I wrote that down.
Oh, I'll count it for sure.
And then, do you remember those, like, they're little, like, plastic beads in all different colors that you would put on those things with the spikes on them, and then you would iron them?
Yes,
I don't remember what those are called, but I remember doing those all the time.
Yep.
Shrinky dinks.
Don't know what that is.
Are you kidding?
No.
It's like, you get a piece of, like, plexiglass, no, I don't know. Some sort of
Material?
Thank you.
Okay.
And you draw a picture on it with permanent marker, and then you stick it in the oven, and it shrinks.
Oh.
So yeah, there's that. I feel like there's another thing that I was just gonna say. Oh yeah. This isn't really a gadget, but I remember always going to the bookshelf and picking out a book that I pretended to read. Because I don't remember when I learned how to read. When is the normal age? I don't know. And I would just remember on PBS or something, they would always say, "This was brought to you by the Wisconsin Public Broadcast, blah, 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 blah." And so I would just repeat that when I was pretending to read. "This is brought to you by the publication of the publication of the public broadcasting." That's what I would say.
Aww.
So, yeah.
I also had Tamagotchis.
Oh, I always wanted one of those, but I never had one. I would just babysit my friends sometimes.
Aw, that's kind of adorable and sad at the same time. Also, Game Boy came out in 1989. I had a Game Boy Advance, which technically came out in 2001, but Game Boys.
I never had a Game Boy either.
Yeah, that's kind of more of a
Just a good
nerd
old
thing.
PS2.
Hey, PS2s are amazing.
Yeah.
And they play DVDs.
Yeah, they do. Thank you. Okay, and then what was your favorite activity in the 90s or hobby? Do 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds have hobbies?
So that's the thing. I was trying really hard to think. I have 3 older siblings, so for the most part, I just ran around and did whatever they did. And I do remember watching my brothers play video games in particular, and I remember like fighting over video games. I remember playing on our Super Nintendo. We would play like Mario and stuff. But like I also remember building forts out of like cardboard, and we would draw like spaceships out of chalk, and we had one of those joystick controllers, and that was always like our spaceship controller. And I had a couple neighbors that I grew up with who were like my same age, and we were always at each other's houses. We were constantly playing, like we were playing Secretary and House, and we would play games like at night, you know, like Ghost in the Graveyard and stuff like that. And, you know, so I was definitely like running around outside as well, for sure. But I definitely also remember like playing video games and watching VHS tapes and all that good stuff.
I just wrote down Playhouse, but when you were just talking, it reminded me of when we were at like the babysitter's house and all the kids, she had this like really long wood table, and she would keep one side of the legs up and put the other side down, so it was like a really big slide. And then she gave us wax paper to sit on, and it was like going down the fun slide. And then there was also a hill by the zoo. This is probably really bad to say, but we would open the sides of the van doors because they didn't have automatic doors back then for vans. And we would open them almost all the way, but not enough that they would get locked. And then we would go down the hill, and then she would slam on the brakes at the bottom, and the doors would slam shut.
That sounds really dangerous.
Yeah, that's why I probably shouldn't have said that. But we did do that.
Yeah, we'll have to at some point talk about things that we've done that we probably shouldn't have, maybe. But no, it doesn't have anything to do with anything love versus hate. That's fine. Yeah, I remember like in the winter, we had a hill kind of behind my house that all of the neighbor kids would all go and sled on. That was always kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. I didn't really like sledding because I don't like hills. Even though I just said that I went down a hill.
But you were in a car, but not necessarily the safety of a car, since, I could easily just see someone's hand, something getting jammed in one of those doors, and
Yeah.
I'm happy you're still alive.
Yeah, well, my hand did get jammed in a door once, but it wasn't from that.
Okay.
So.
That's good.
All right, well, is there anything else from the 90s?
I feel like we should mention just briefly, like, clothing.
Oh, yeah, clothing.
Like, I look back at pictures of me as a child, and I'm like, Mother, what were you thinking? And she's like, what? It was the 90s. Like, it's an excuse for everybody with, like, very poor. It was always those, like, windbreakers that were huge on you and, like,
really
bright colors.
Yeah, and really big denim. I feel like the denim was just so large. You're like,
you were like drowning.
How many
in
legs is
clothes.
in there?
Yeah. Exactly. Like, it was just these huge things. But interesting times.
I thought it was cute. You always, like, kids just had like the Looney Tunes on their jackets, I felt like.
Yeah, exactly.
Tweety.
And all the Disney, the mouse and
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mouse.
Mickey Mouse. It was funny. I saw a meme once where it was like a picture. It was like a picture of me as a kid, and it's like mismatched, pants and those windbreakers like we're talking about, and the Mickey Mouse hat, and it's like this total kid, and it's like kids today, and they have these like just immaculate, perfectly matching outfits with like necklaces and cardigans, and their hair is like perfectly combed over.
Sometimes I see little kids and I'm like, why are they wearing the same outfit as me?
Yes. It's weird. Like, they don't wear what we wore as kids for sure.
It's very strange. They have the same color palettes, the same styles and patterns. And
yes.
It's like, you're a baby. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, it was just so funny. And the different facial expressions too. Like, me as a kid is like this goofy grin, and like kids today are, is this perfect like stare. It's not even like a full smile. It's just like a smolder. Yeah, like, yeah.
Do you know what a smize is?
No, what's a smize?
Oh, so much to teach her. It's a smile with your eyes.
Ah, yes.
Tyra Banks. America's Next Top Model.
Okay, gotcha. I do. Okay, full disclosure. I have seen America's Next Top Model.
ANTM. OMG.
Yep.
And you liked it, didn't you?
Well, I liked looking at the pictures they took.
Yeah, isn't that
cool? I found it interesting. Yeah, I found it engaging. Okay, we can move on. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap up our decades. We just kind of wanted to cover our early childhoods, maybe. I mean, we could cover decades that we weren't necessarily lived in, but that might be hard.
Yeah, we could talk about, like, our favorite or least favorite movies from those decades or something like that.
Yeah.
We could also cover 2000 to 2019 once the year is over.
I was just going to say, why don't we do that at the new year?
Yeah, we could totally do that. If you guys like this episode, you should let us know, and we will do that one for you guys once the new year comes, because I can't believe it's going to be 2020 soon.
I know, it blows my mind. We're going to be in a new decade.
It's crazy.
What?
But yeah, you should let us know what you think. Be on the lookout for throwback photos.
Yes.
So definitely check us out on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also have a YouTube where we post our episodes and some bonus content there too. So keep on the lookout for that. And then if you want, you can email us at loveversushatepodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. We love all feedback. Any thoughts, things you love, anything. We'll take it all.
Yes.
All right, Emily, to wrap up this episode, I want to know, what are our life lessons from the 90s and the 2000s?
I think my life lesson is that, when I have kids, I'm not going to make them look perfect and like an adult at all times of their life.
Yeah. Let them be a kid. Let them look like a weirdo.
Yeah.
Make fun of them.
Yes. What's yours?
My life lesson is that Disney movies and Pixar are never, ever going to grow old, and they're going to be amazing for the rest of time, and that my children are going to watch them, enjoy them like I did as a child as well.
Yes. She's a little salty. about the new Disney movies and how so many kids like those over
I
the
am, like,
originals.
specifically because they're doing those live action remakes.
Yeah.
And they're watching those over the original animated and thinking that they're better, but they're not. These kids have no idea what they're talking about.
Totally not.
They're totally not. They're good. I enjoy them, sure, but it's just Disney trying to make tons of money, which they're doing because they're Disney. But like, they're never going to beat the original animations.
Ever.
Ever.
Never, ever.